everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover Party Wallop. You can see them there in front of the box. Go ahead and put them off the side real quick. And yep, you can see it's kind of a, well, hey, look, a clamshell, plastic clamshell type of thing going on in Transformers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because both of them are selling the 40th anniversary this year. You got Party Wallop there in the vehicle mode, and hey, look, there are the turtles all across the box and kind of a tearing thing. You got kind of a shell design right there on the plastic clamshell. You got Transformers way up there. You can see that. This is trying to preserve this box for the sake of this review is a pain in the butt. By the way, you can see some of the tear marks from me trying to get it out. But anyway, on this side, well, you pretty much not have much of anything except, well, some turtles and an Autobot symbol. On this side, you have, you know, hey, look, some of the accessories are included. On the top, you really just have an Autobot symbol right there and the Transformer thing. And then on the bottom, you just have some copyrights and warnings and whatnot on the bottom and some turtles again. And on the back, you have, hey, look, there's some product shots and whatnot. And of course, yeah, you could choose. Basically, the cool thing about this is you can choose between, you know, any of the four turtles or just a generic turtle, I guess. And yeah, you got the 40th anniversary of Transformers there and you got the 40th anniversary of Turtles right there. Yeah, that's pretty cool that they both get to celebrate at the same time. Yeah, and of course, included in the box is the instruction manual, which is actually pretty decent considering, you know, it tells you everything you pretty much need to know for the most part. There are definitely a couple things I wish were done better, and there's a couple things I will point out on the toy itself. But yeah, so Party Wallop. Yes, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover figure. I was never super into Ninja Turtles as a kid. I did watch the cartoon occasionally. I had a couple of the toys, but I wasn't like super into it or anything. Of course, I also watched the live action movies. But I never was really super into it, so I didn't really, you know, I haven't really paid that much attention to it. But this is kind of something I was kind of excited for, just because Turtles is kind of part of the childhood, even if it wasn't a big part of the childhood, at least for me. So yeah, getting in close here. You can see you got, well, this is the plain turtle face. This is the default one that goes on. You can, of course, have the turtle smile with the weird thing. Yeah, try to do that with your own mouth. It's very difficult. Got some nice sky blue eyes picked out. You got some silver up here and all these little red bits. You got the, you know, kind of turtle chest detail going on. You got these little, you know, armor pads going on the shoulders and everything. You can see some bits of the vehicle, well, because, yeah, he's just cutting skull all over the place. You got the belt buckle, some silver right there. Lace and gray and greens, you know, all that stuff. You got those tires, feet. He does have, you know, the backpack, which, yeah, look, it does look like a turtle shell. This is one of those times where not having backpack would be a bad thing because, you know, they're supposed to have turtle shells. And you go, there's the spoiler for the van. Yeah, you have to attach yourself. It just pegs in right there. It's just a simple peg, so it just pegs right in. Just make sure, you know, have it facing the correct way. That you also have to peg in again. It's also just a simple peg, so nothing huge there. But beyond that, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot beyond that. You know, it looks like a Ninja Turtle. A robot Ninja Turtle, mind you, but, you know, still, it looks like a Ninja Turtle, so nothing too shocking there. But he does come with a ton of accessories, which trying to figure out how to handle that. You know, I usually do accessories first, then articulation. I'm going to do articulation first, then we'll get into the accessories. So for articulation, yeah, head's on a ball joint, so you got left and right, you got up and down, and all that stuff. You got all around. It's nice and expressive right there. These shoulder flaps, of course, can get out of the way if you need them to, because, you know, the shoulders can do a full rotation right there to watch these, which speaking of, whoops, that comes undone pretty easily. Yeah, these can go forward and back, although they're kind of stiff. These can go, you know, forward and back a little bit. Again, also a little stiff. You also have a bicep rotation right there, right above the elbow. You also have outward, which is about yay far all the way, as long as you get the shoulder bit out of the way. Elbows themselves are kind of that weird faux soft ratchet thing. They go about that far, about 90 degrees. Actually, see less than 90 degrees, unfortunately. But that's a little bit of disappointment. The wrists are at an weird angle. You can see that they kind of are angled in, but they do have swivels, which is nice. So that's something right there. The waist is on a swivel. You got left and right. Although because of the backpack and the little hip flaps here, there is a bit of a limitation before, you know, you start banging into stuff. And that does move out of the way, but, you know, just something to be aware of for that. Yeah, that's a big problem right there. It's just simply how easily this untabs itself. That's a little bit of disappointment. As for down here at the legs, you do have, of course, these hip skirts can get out of the way a bit, and they can even go up and down, but they get out of the way. You also got forward about that far. You have backwards about yay far before you start kind of running into the backpack a bit. There's more there, but again, the backpack's just in the way. You got outward about this far. That's about as much as it can go with the hip skirt on there. You do have a thigh swivel right there. Knees about 90 degrees on that. And ankles, you do have that much tilt, and not really. I mean, you can kind of you can kind of tilt them forward a bit if you know you're willing to untransform it a bit, but it's going to look weird. And down back here, you do have a heel, so you know that might be useful for something or another. So there you go. Articulation is pretty standard for something like this. And also just getting some, I guess, some comparisons with some other crossover toys, because why not? I'm only going to grab a handful. Here's Gigawatt, because why not? That's your standard deluxe size. He's a pretty good chunk. He's big. You can see he's a big chunky character, so he's definitely kind of more in the Voyager size. And speaking of, here's another van. Here's Code Red, the Stranger Things crossover, just because, well, it's another van, and why not? Yeah, you can see they're roughly the same height, although he is definitely a chunker. He's chunky. That's what I should say. He's chunky compared to him, comparatively. So there you go on that. Now, accessories. So there's a couple accessories, quite a few accessories actually. So number one is you got the front of the turtle van right there. You got the party wagon front right there, you know, with all that stuff. You also have, you know, this piece right here. You have this little thing. It says, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it. And on the other side, hey, look, there's some pizza. Nicely picked out. Nicely picked out in paint. Very clean looking. He can't really hold this, unfortunately. Not really. I mean, I guess you can kind of balance it on his fist a bit, but it doesn't balance super well. So that's a little. There's no way, as far as I can tell, there's no way for him to like hold this. But this does kind of go into here. It's not super secure. I've had this pop itself out multiple times, or like it just catches or whatever. So it's not super secure. So be mindful of that. But you can put it in there. And also, speaking of security, I was complaining about before, but yeah, these right here, these tabs, whatever the backpack just does not like to stay tabbed in. It does not take much for it to just kind of pop itself loose really easily if you're not careful. So be mindful of that. But the cool thing is, yeah, this can tab to the front. You know, there's multiple tabs there, right there. So you can have that like that if you want to be, I guess, more robotic of sorts. Or right here, there's a little thing right here. You can get this out right here, and that's a peg. And that could be peg onto like one of the peg holes in the arms and be a shield. I prefer like this personally. I know that might be not what they intended, but I think it just looks better like that. Just, yeah, it can be an arm shield like that. So there is that. Now, he's got a ton of weapons and also alternate, well, heads, kind of. Half heads. 4 heads. Sure. The top of the head, you can see it just comes right off. Because of the various... Well, he's got 4 other ones. Hey, look, they got different bandanas or something, like almost like there's 4 characters on the show. So yeah, you have all 4 of them. And on top of that, when you're swapping, you can also open this belt buckle. And yeah, there's a little rotation gimmick here. You just rotate it around and, well, hey, look, now you have a letter. Hey, look, letter D for Donatello, you know, Donnie. It's purple right there. And there you go. You got that. And you got Donnie there. And of course, yeah, he comes with, well, a bow staff. There's a bow staff here, which, this, you can unfold that, and be careful on mine when I unfold it. Sometimes it likes to unseat itself, so just be mindful of that. But yeah, he's got a bow staff, and you could just, well, plug in his hand. Actually, going to plug this into the other arm, because why not? Of course, you can plug it in the hand. As for dual wielding, well, you can, but it's not going to look particularly good just because it's him holding a stick like that or whatever. But I guess you could theoretically do it because, you know, well, yeah, you can do it easily because it's really not much to stop you. But just... He's got his bow staff, which is cool. So, you know, you got that. That's Donnie there. You got all that. And on top of that, these can store away. This can store away, actually. It's pretty cool. What you do with this is, you know, you can fold that up like that. And then there's this big old long slot right there. And what that does is you can open up the backpack and you do so. So you just take the guns, flip those back, and then open that up a bit. And then you take these and open those up. And right here, this big old long tab. And what you do is just, you know, you just tab that in like that. It's actually pretty secure to the point of it's kind of sometimes difficult to get out. And on top of that, you know, to store the turtle heads, if you want to do so, you can just, well, pop it off, and you can see it's kind of keyed. It's not just a peg, it's a peg and a tab kind of together. And that just came off again. Because of course it did. Why not? You just do not want to stay together right now, do you? Yeah. But, you know, just take that, and on the back here, you got, well, again, 4 keyed pegs right back here, and, you know, just line those up and just kind of plug it on like that. And then you can, yeah, just kind of fold that away, and there you go. Let's get this all sorted out. But yeah, moving on to the next turtle though, because of course more stuff here. Just kind of try to fly through this a bit. Yeah, rotating again, and hey, look, L for Leonardo, the blue one. Yeah, got that. Do that stuff, and of course he comes with the swords. Yep, 2 of them right there, and these, of course, can just, you know, slide right into his hands, no problem. That. So there you go. All that stuff. So, yep. Of course, these can store. I'm going to put this back, but yeah. These can actually store right here, like this. There's just little slots here, and there's the tabs on the blades, and you can just, well, store them right there, like that. And like that. And right here, this one just also stores like this, and those can store away like there, if you want. And of course, you got Raphael, the red one. And of course, he has his Sai, you know, 2 of them. Which of course can also just, you know, go in his hands, no problem. So, like that. And these can store away right here. There's little slots right there on the on the hip skirts. There's little slots for those, so you can easily grab them whenever needs to. Cut up some fools. Some Foot Clan fools. It just kind of stores away right there on his hip skirts. So there you go for that. And of course you have Michelangelo, or Mikey. And of course he has his nunchucks, which actually have a nice little chain and everything. So they actually can wiggle around and everything. Very nicely posable chain. You know, the links are and everything that, you know. And they could, of course, once again, just go in the hands. Like so. And all, like so. I will say, because of the little ridge at the bottom of the bait, you can see there's a little ridge. Because of this ridge right here, this indentation at the bottom, sometimes they get kind of a little caught in the hand, so just be careful with that. Sometimes they get caught in, caught on means they kind of don't want to come out. So there you go. But yeah, that's the, I guess, technically 5 turtles you can be. No metalhead. Apparently metalhead's a thing. I didn't already know that. That's how out of turtles I am. Metalhead is a thing, apparently. Yeah, so there you go. And yeah, and of course, these, I mentioned, the nunchucks can store under the shoulder bits. You can see there's 4 clips, and you just make sure the chain is on this part up here. Let's see if I can get this up a little bit higher. There we go. Yeah, make sure the chain's up on this part, and you just, you know, line the clips up with the indentations around the handles, and yeah, this will just go right in. Like that. And that stores away. No problem. And there you go. Yep. And they'll store away. Pretty well hidden, too. There you go on that. And also the really cool thing, of course, being literally everything can store on the figure when he's in robo mode. Literally every weapon. It can be stored all on the robo mode all at once. Every single accessory, all the extra, I guess, 4 heads are in the back plate piece. Everything's there. Everything can be stored away on the robot at all times. You can do mix and matches however you want, which is pretty cool that you can do all that. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool that they did this. Like, you can have all 4 turtles with you, and I guess a generic turtle. You can repaint that however you want. You can do maybe a Slash. Slash was the other one? Maybe, kind of. He had the sharp teeth, though. I remember him because I saw some comics way back in the day. But yeah, yeah, it's just really cool. The only thing I really complain about really is this. The back plate doesn't always like to stay tabbed in, so it comes off really easily, unfortunately. And he does have just these hip skirts sometimes get a little in the way just because of how they are, but it's not too bad. And it kind of forces him because his arms will always be out like this, but it's not too bad overall. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So transformation wise, okay, the first thing you got to do is you have to pull the Sai off, and you have to pull the swords off. But otherwise, all the rest of the weapons can actually stay where they are. Everything else can stay where it is, including this. This, you know, make sure this is pegged into the chest right there. Yeah, everything else can stay as is. You don't have to remove it. So to get into the van mode first, you want to go ahead and take this and untab that and bring this back a bit, right? And bring this all back and just kind of get this all ready to go. Kind of get that move forward a bit. Yeah, get that all back right there. And right here, the head right here, you want to, on this platform, you want to push this platform down. There's actually, if you can see that, there's little slots right there on that back of the head. They'll line up with tabs right in there. If you can see that, there's little tabs in there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there's tabs inside there that lines up with, and it will line up over and make sure you push it all the way back like that. Now from there, what you want to do is take these yellow pieces and move those out like that. Just kind of leave them out for now. Go ahead and bring this up. You don't want to tab it in quite yet. So just going to bring this up and just kind of ready to go. And then make sure these are out of the way. And then right here, what you would want to do with the shoulders, you want to bring these shoulder pieces, you want to kind of start moving this back and bring these shoulder bits forward like this. It's going to be a little tricky because there's kind of stuff running into things. You want to bring these forward. You want to actually probably like leave it up a little bit, yeah, like that. And don't pull that off. And bring these back like that, and you know, rotating these back. And there's kind of, it's hard to explain, but there are these tabs right here. There's tabs right here which will go into the shoulder pieces when it's all lined up. They'll kind of go into the shoulder pieces when it's all lined up, and this doesn't pop off. I haven't never had that pop off like this before, so of course doing it now. And you want to bring these together right here. You want to bring these together right there. You want to go ahead and bring the arms back as well, and this will help you start getting everything all lined up as well. Once it yeah, if it doesn't rotate weirdly on you. There we go. It's rotated weirdly, yeah. Bring the arms back like this, and at the wrist joints, there's a little hinge here. You want to go ahead and bring those down. Bring those down. These don't tab together super well until after you bring the wrists down. Then they will tab together all right. And you make sure to bring that up. And this will tab into the back right here once this is all lined up. You want to bring this up forward, and this will tab in up front right here and tab in right there. And this will tab in, once it's together, it will tab in back here. Like so. Like that. And there you go. That's a good chunk of the van done. Of course, this thing came off because, of course, it did. Comes off really easily. I haven't mentioned that before. So you got that. So down here at the legs, what you want to do is, well, I want to take this piece and kind of bring it out. It kind of locks over this piece right here. There's kind of a locking point on at the knee. You're going to bring it forward like this. You want to bring the wheel out like that, and then fold away this yellow piece right there. And same thing on this side. Bring this back. Bring the wheel out and click into place. Make sure it clicks in. And then fold that away. And you can tab peg these together like that. Make sure that's all straightened out. And you bring this up, like this hinge right here, you bring this up, and this will kind of collapse over. And there's tabs right here, which will go into little slots right there, like so. And this also, the spoiler will also slot into these spots right here. Get it all lined up. Like so. Just get all lined up. Kind of be a pain in the butt to actually get this undone, but it's doable. Anyway, like from here, what you want to do, make sure these are all the way down. The little shoulder pieces are now all the way down like that. And right here, I'm going to kind of bring this back a little bit so then this can go forward. And there's this right here, this slot right here will go over that tab. Like that. And this will come back, and a good chance it's going to kind of want to pop, at least initially. Having a problem with this would not settle in. It would just kept popping itself. It would just pop itself back out, and the van was not sticking together. What I did, there's these little tabs right here, and I think it's supposed to lock over top. What I did instead, I just shaved the tabs down a bit, and now it like rests where it's supposed to. But yeah, before it just kept doing this. I'd push it in and just pop itself back out. So that's something you might be aware of. It seems to be they're trying to like have it lock in real secure, and it was kind of unnecessary. That's what I did. You might have a different solution, but regardless, that's what I did. So anyway, same thing on this side. You bring this around, tab this in, bring the hip piece back on that rotation point. Bring this forward and tab this in right there. Bring this back. Make sure this is all lined up right there. So right here, what you do is you unfold this right here. You unfold this and make sure it clicks. You hear it click. There's another one of those locking tabs. I think this is supposed to do the same thing, but there's not enough room for it to do so. You click and then you bring it down, and this will just kind of lock over and tab into place and secure like that. Because you see, again, bring it round, click into place, and right here you can see there's a slot there and everything, and this will also hook, this right here will hook in and everything, and those will all come down like that, and get that all squeezed together. And there's that. It pretty much looks all done, right? But there's a couple more things you can do. So down here, what you can do here is to store away the thigh is right here. There's tabs on the thighs here. You just kind of, you just tab the thighs in right here like that. Just tab them in like that. And the swords here, what you do, there's the slots right here. You want to take those and tab them in like this. You wanted the sword kind of arcing outward. You see like this. So it looks like this. And these also, I've noticed, they don't like to tab in super securely. They really don't like to actually tabbing in. I have to really push them. But yeah, you can see there's little notches in the bottom right there for the swords to go poke through. And then do the same thing on this side, except reversed. Mirrored, I should say. And there you go. There's the swords. They kind of stick out a bit, but that kind of makes sense. And there you go. There is Party Wallop in vehicle mode. And yeah, the turtle party wagon. I think it's called the party wagon. But yeah, you can see it's, well, actually very similar. I remember a friend of mine way back when I was a kid had a big old, the big thing for the, the large figures. So, and this is very reminiscent of that. It's, got some degree of compromise for the sake of transforming, but you can see, it's got it's got nice blue windows. It's got the headlights and everything, and the turtle, kind of turtle smile there and everything. You got the windows picked out, or not windows, mirrors picked out in silver. You got this little bit right here, which I forgot was actually kind of supposed to open on the original van. There's a bit of gapping right here, but it's not too horrible. You got the silver on the rims and everything, even the pinwheels. You got red taillights. The turtle shell right there. You got the guns. You got this red light. Oh yeah, you also forgot you're supposed to flip these up as well. Silly me. I keep forgetting about those. You're supposed to flip those up. Yeah. Yeah. It's overall really good looking. And of course it rolls pretty decently. Ground clearance is minimal. You can see that. Ground clearance is very minimal, particularly if you have the swords there. But yeah, you got very little ground clearance, but it does roll still. And there you go. These, of course, can go up and down. Or not up and down. They can go forward and back like that. These can go up and down about yay far. And, yeah, overall, it's pretty good. And everything, you of course have this off if you want. Of course, that's when I want to pull it off. That's when it doesn't want to come off. But yeah, you can pull that off if you want. Yeah, it just works. And of course, again, like I said before, like in this regard, every single accessory is stored on here in some way, which is again pretty cool. I like that everything stores away. That is really nice. And you got this thing, so you can pull that off, and yeah, you can pull that off if you want. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, it all works pretty well. And of course, you got a couple peg holes back here, I guess, if you want. Yeah, it all works pretty well. It all stores pretty cleanly, and you got all that stuff. And it's pretty good size. So yeah, I like this thing. Not really much to say about it though, but I do like it. It's fairly accurate to what I remember from my childhood, at least my vague memories and what pictures I've looked at. Although again, there are some, that got oddities because that's a hinge right there. There's, has to be room for that hinge right there. And so, and of course there's this big old hinge bulking out right here. But yeah, it does what it needs to do, and it does it pretty well. And it does it pretty well. You can quibble about some of the compromises for the sake of transformation, but hey, it does everything pretty well. So some quick comparisons. Here's Gigawatt, who is, significantly smaller, but that makes sense. It's a DeLorean versus a van, and tire's not sitting properly, but yeah. That actually kind of feels like that's roughly the right scale considering everything, considering the windshield and everything. Yeah, it feels about right. So yeah. So you go on that. And here's also Code Red. Code Red is way smaller in vehicle mode. Way smaller. But then it's also, Volkswagen Vanagon. So, it's kind of a weird thing, which Vanagons were kind of relatively small vans. So it's a bit too small, but there you go. It's some crossover stuff. So there you go on that. So as a whole, Party Wallop is pretty cool. The only thing is, it costs $50. It's a $50 Transformer, and it's very much it's a Voyager with a lot of extra stuff. So yeah, you might be able, if it wasn't for the licensing thing, it'd probably be more like $45 probably. Actually, probably something closer to $40. But because of licensing, basically with these crossover figures, basically add $10 extra because of licensing. So there you go. It's a $50 toy, and you get all 4 turtles plus, I guess, a unnamed 5th turtle, I guess, with no bandana or anything. But you can get all 4 turtles. But if you want to have all 4 turtles on your shelf, you're going to have to spend $200, you know, minimum. You might go $250 just for the sake of having that 5th whatever for whatever thing. So yeah, it can be expendy. You can just, you know, pick your favorite turtle, or, you know, do whatever you want there. But these seem to be selling all right, not super amazing. It's like, seems like they might be able to down the line get these on sale, and if that's the case, I might go ahead and get 3 more. But as it stands, I'm content with 1 because I'm not super into Ninja Turtles, so I'm not going to spend $200 on getting all 4 of them. But I'm fine with getting 1 and kind of displaying, maybe swapping occasionally to a different turtle and display. You know, you can do that if you want. But it's pretty cool they managed to pack all 4 into one thing. I think a lot of people were expecting when this would kind of maybe like 4 smaller dudes, like New Age did that. They like repainted their Brawn or something into a 4-pack of Ninja Turtles, which is kind of clever. But regardless, you know, it's pretty cool what they did. You know, you can pick which one you want. So you can buy just 1 and have your favorite, or you can buy 4 of them if you really want to go all out and, you know, get all 4 turtles, whatever you want to do. But yeah, oh yeah, I almost forgot one other thing, which is, yeah, these cannons are blast effect compatible. Just I almost forgot about that. So there's that too. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, as a whole, it's a little spendy, but it's kind of worth it. So if you're big in Transformers and Ninja Turtles, you might want to consider worth it. I'm not sure if it's worth spending $200 on 4 of them, but it's pretty cool. You can switch between all 4 of them at will and mix and match if you want, or what have you. So yeah, you're paying almost leader prices for a Voyager class toy, but a Voyager class toy with a lot of accessories. And again, there is that whole basically tack on $10 for any licensing stuff, because that's how these crossovers seem to work. So yeah, it's cool. Maybe a bit too expensive, but not actually that much more expensive. It was like it'd be more comfortable with $10 less, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get it on sale for like $40 or less pretty soon anyway. So hey, if you're a little patient, if you're willing to take the gamble and be a little patient, you might get it for a more fair price. So there you go. It's a good toy, but maybe a little spendy. It's like pretty much all the crossover. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee Man Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.